Okay, welcome. Once again, it's that time of the week, the Green Neighborhood, RiverWestRadio.com. This is Eric the Green Guy with you. Monday between 5 and 6 p.m. Okay, I have to grab the microphone, do a little James Brown here. Let's see here. All right, and if you have any questions or comments, you can call in at 414-935-2951. Again, that's 414-935-2951. What we're going to talk about today is just some basic things that we can do that make a big difference for our pocketbook, our environment, and maybe even for our community. What we like to talk about with the Green Neighborhood is the Green Neighborhood Initiative, which essentially the goal of the Green Neighborhood Initiative is to raise ecological awareness in households and neighborhoods and economic awareness of how environmental stewardship may sustainably fundraise for our community. Some of the things that we're going to cover during this brief time together will include energy efficiency, water conservation, virtual water reduction, toxic home care reduction, and recycling. Those are the 5 key elements that neighbors teach the neighbors through a simple green home, green body makeover. Green neighbors cultivate a healthier macro environment through green, cost-effective improvements readily available within a multitude of microenvironments, those being our neighborhood households. Such improvements will not only save money and save our environment, but may improve the way we support our schools and community service nonprofit organizations. Some of the favorite books that I've read include Unbowed by Dr. Wangari Maathai, excellent book. She founded the Green Tree Movement, and which is responsible for at least having 30 million trees planted. That's an amazing feat. Dr. Wangari Maathai was the first environmentalist to win the Nobel Peace Prize, as well as the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize, and she was from Kenya. Another book that I think is outstanding is Green Goes with Everything by Sloan Barnett. It expands on some of the topics we're going to discuss concerning those things that are within arm's reach to make our home healthier for ourselves and healthier for the environment outside of our homes. And then there's the Body Restoration Plan, Ridding Your Body of Chemical Calories by Dr. Paula Bell Hamilton. It's an excellent book that talks about how the chemicals in the foods that we consume, as well as the chemicals that we get by way of skin contact regarding our laundry, our clothing, and so forth, how that interferes with our body's capacity to burn calories as efficiently as it ordinarily would. Many of the chemicals that go into our system interfere with the natural processes and thus interfere with the caloric burning capacity that we typically would have. That's why having a green household can affect you not just in terms of your pocketbook and the money that you save, and not merely just the reducing the environmental impact, but in terms of your own personal health. It does matter. One thing leads to the other. Okay, now what we're going to start off with is talking about some things that you can do either at once or as a matter of process. For example, installing 5 compact fluorescent light bulbs is a great idea. It saves you money. They last about, 10 times as long, and you save about anywhere from $30 to $60 over the course of the lifetime of the bulbs, depending upon your home lighting habits as they are now. And one of my favorite topics to talk about is, I'll get to water later, but let's talk about the Smart Power Strip. Now, the Smart Power Strip is to your electricity usage in your home as a low flow aerator is to the water usage of your home. That being, we're referring to phantom drain. Phantom drain drains your wallet because of the electrical appliances that are turned off as far as you're concerned, but in actuality, they're still on, draining power in a standby mode. The standby mode typically is not apparent. Nonetheless, is meant to power up the device faster than it otherwise would. So that means your television, typically your stereo system, computer systems, and so forth. When you turn them off, oftentimes they're not genuinely 100% off. There's a slight power drain, and it adds up. So it's analogous to me as drips from your faucet. It's being consumed, it's being paid for, but it's not being used, and therefore is a waste. So the solution to that is to get what is called the Smart Power Strip. I believe it's the LCG3 Smart Power Strip, and it's smart because when plugged in by your computers and TVs and so forth, when you turn them off, the strip recognizes that you really mean to turn it off, and so it's totally off. It's like that final twist on the faucet tap to prevent that drippage from building up and hitting your pocket. So that's a smart thing to do, and it's something that once you buy it, you probably won't buy another one. If you have multiple rooms with multiple electronic devices, then you just buy one or two, whatever. But the bottom line is that you're saving money over the long haul, and in this way, you're also having a positive impact on the environment. And then this again is one of those low-hanging fruits that it makes sense to do. It doesn't going to hurt you. Now, let's see here. With respect to water, a simple thing to do, which many people are unaware of, is to get low-flow aerators. Those are the little screens that go on the faucet for your bathroom or your kitchen faucet. And what it does, it permits the same amount of water pressure for washing dishes, washing yourself, and so forth. But it does so with less water because as the water rushes down out the spigot, air is rushing up, maintaining the same pressure, but you have a smaller flow of gallons per minute. And likewise, you want to do the same thing with your shower head. You want to get a low flow shower head. You will not notice the difference in terms of how it feels, but you will notice the difference in terms of how it feels in your wallet book when it's time to pay the water bill. Bottom line is that this is an easy way to save money and be eco-conscious as well. They're not diametrically opposed. They can and oftentimes are in harmony. It just takes a matter of being aware and applying what you're aware of, apply what you learned, and then share what you know. And so that's what the program Green Neighborhood is about. It's about sharing what we know for the benefit of us all. Now, in the shower, I'm having Mortal Kombat with this fly, but I'm going to squash it or it's going to have to leave me alone. Anyway, with respect to shower time, showers feel great. And then we try to be mindful of how long we're in the shower. Some people may say they listen to a song or two or have a timer or whatever. But the easiest technique I have come across in being mindful of how much water you're using or how long you're in the shower is simply this. When you're in the shower, plug it up. Don't let the water drain out the drain. You're going to wash the tub anyway. So as the water rises, you may have a set point of, when it gets above your toes, okay, then that's typically how long you've, taken a shower. That's enough water usage. That's enough time. So you're not timing it with respect to a clock or a watch or how many songs. You're timing it with respect to the height the water raises on you. Or, you may say just about before it gets to my ankles, I'm typically done washing my body. I mean, after all, if it gets above your ankles, that's more like a bath, not a shower. So that's an easy, consistent way to just monitor the amount of time you're in the shower by monitoring how high the water raises when you plug up the drain. Long story short. Also on the water tip with respect to your home, a helpful tip is to put some food dye in the tank or a food coloring pellet in the tank. And then wait a couple of minutes and see if you see food coloring in the toilet bowl. If you do, you have a leak and you want to address that. If you don't, then you can simply flush it and your toilet is not leaking. A way to save money per flush with your toilet usage is to, of course, buy a water-efficient toilet, or for those who are not inclined or less inclined to do so, simply take a plastic bottle, perhaps from soda or, cola, plastic bottle, and when it's done, you just put some pebbles or marbles in it at the bottom, fill it up with water, put the cap on, put it in the toilet tank. And in that way, if it's a 1 liter bottle, you're saving 1 liter of water per flush. If it's a 2 liter bottle, plastic bottle, in your toilet tank, you're saving 2 liters of water per flush. It depends on, what you want to use and the size of your toilet tank. But essentially, the same amount of work is being effectively done, but you're using less water per flush, and it adds up. And staying on the water topic, there's this relatively new brand of bottled water. I don't want to explicitly say the name, but it's something like Clever Water or Smart H2O. I don't want to say the exact title of the brand. Oh, that reminds me. I got to read the disclaimer. Welcome to the Green Neighborhood program. My name is Eric. I'm the producer of the show. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, the things you hear over the radio over the next remaining hour represent the views of the show's producers and guests and so forth. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio. People making them are responsible, et cetera, et cetera. River West Radio is not liable for what's to come forth and so forth. Okay, now back to what we really want to get into. Yeah, bottled water. First of all, this is the biggest, one of the best head games that's been pulled on the American populace in terms of consumption. Let's just read some general information about learning the facts about bottled water. As recently as 2006, more than 900,000 tons of plastic was used to package 8 billion gallons of bottled water. 900,000 tons of plastic just for bottled water. Okay. Production of this plastic leads to the release of a variety of chemicals. Most smaller bottles are made from polyethylene, which generates more than 100 times more toxic emissions than an equivalent amount of glass. That's from the Berkeley Ecology Center. In 2000, Consumer Reports found that 8 of the 10 5-gallon jugs checked left residues of endocrine disruptors bisphenol A in the water. And so this is referring to those 8-gallon jugs of water that some people have brought into their workplace or at home. The chemicals being leaked from those plastics are referred to as BPA or bisphenol A, and may be endocrine disruptors. And you don't want that because that interferes with your hormonal processes. So basically, there's leaching of chemicals into the bottled water, and that increases with heat and age, raising concerns about the storage and transportation of the bottle. So you have to be mindful that it's not merely the plastic that is disposed of that has a detrimental effect on the environment. It's the transportation of these bottled water products to your home or to your grocery store, and you have water coming out of your tap. But we'll get to that in a minute. Water quality. Bottled water is regulated by the FDA, which has weaker regulations than the EPA regulations for tap water. For your information, FDA refers to the Food and Drug Administration, and the EPA stands for the Environmental Protection Agency. When the NRDC tested more than 1,000 bottles, including 103 bottled water brands, they found contamination exceeding allowable limits in at least one sample from about 1/3 of the brands, including arsenic, synthetic organics, and bacteria. Long story short, independent study was done on 103 bottled water brands, and they found more dangerous contaminants than what is typically found in your local municipality. If you're so concerned about the quality of your drinking water, the simplest thing to do is to filter it or purify it at the tap. I mean, you know what you've done. You know you know the quality of purification or filtration that you've put the water through that you're going to consume for yourself and your family, as opposed to leaving it up to company brand X, who they won't do anything until they're caught and someone's gotten sick. And after the fact, that might even be you and your family. Then, okay, instead of buying a bottle, just have one bottle of water. It can be plastic, it can be tin or aluminum. You have that in your vehicle. You have another carrying bottle, vessel, canteen, or what have you at the place of your employment or at your business. One kept in your book bag, on your bicycle. And this way, number one, you're saving money because you're not buying water that you can get out of the tap. And secondly, you're not disposing of plastic bottles that eventually will end up in a landfill, creating more methane gas, which deteriorates our ozone faster, contributing to the greenhouse gas effect. Or you're not contributing to the plastics being disposed into ocean, into the gyro, I think it's called. Gyre on the West Coast, especially. Yeah, I say especially because, this United States, I'm American. Every, plastic cesspool is terrible, but, you have to start at home. And that's the bottom line. All of this does start at home, in our home. And we, as residents, contribute to more pollution in our environment than the corporations do. Why? Because corporations, organizations are regulated. On the federal, state, local, municipal level, they are regulated. However, no one's going to say anything to Bob as he pours his motor oil down the sewer. He doesn't know. No one's going to say anything to Mary as she pours turpentine down the sewer, down the drain in the driveway. This affects our water quality. This limits the available drinking water that we have to us. So we need to be mindful of what we do in our homes. What we bring into our homes is going to leave one or two ways. One is going to be flushed down the toilet or down the drain, or two is going to go out the garbage. With respect to the garbage, either A, it's going to be something that can be readily broken down in a reasonable amount of time, like food, which case we should compost, or B, it's going to be something that can be recycled. And so we want to be mindful of the refuse that we create, most of which can be either recycled or composted if we're buying products in the first place that avail themselves to a natural process of degeneration or being recycled. So, again, the little difference that we make in our home makes a big difference in our environment, which is home to us all, unless you have another place to go. If we screw up planet Earth, this is it. And by the way, if you're not a billionaire, I don't know if you're going to make that spaceship or sea ship. But lest I digress. Let's see here. One more note, then I'll move on. Reducing our carbon footprint with respect to bottled water. More energy is used to transport the water to the bottling plant than transport the filled bottles to warehouses, stores, homes, and finally to landfills or recycling centers. The total amount of energy embedded in the use of bottled water is equivalent of filling a plastic bottle 1/4 full of oil, according to the Pacific Institute. By contrast, municipal water requires only a little energy to pump the water through the pipes to our homes. So just saying no to bottled water is a simple way to reduce your carbon footprint. Okay. Hope you've gotten the point. What else can we get into today? Let's talk about some additional simple things we can do around the house. Now, you may be interested in having a green home, green body makeover done for your home. There is no expense, and it basically is a green neighbor mentor sharing with you those ways that are no cost or low cost for making a greener home and a greener body. And in doing so, you may decide to make your low cost changes, differences in your home be for a fundraising program for community services in our community. First of all, there will be a simple discussion, and which will lead into a inspection of your home. Your green neighborhood mentor will basically identify opportunities to maximize comfort and safety while minimizing utility bills. And eventually it will go into perhaps a energy audit, and your energy audit involves the evaluation of your home with a number of tests to solve problems such as drafts, energy inefficiencies, and safety concerns. The energy audit will include inspecting the home's exterior to evaluate the foundation, siding, windows, doors, roof, gutters, and more. Then look around inside for indications of moisture problems. Also, an examination of the mechanical systems for proper ventilation, that being your furnace, water heater, and bathroom fans. At each step, recommendations for solutions will be provided during an energy audit. Finally, a report will be provided to you. Recommendations and low-cost changes. A blower door test will be done during an energy audit. A blower door test is to measure how tight your home is and find the leaky areas. There will be a combustion safety test done. Combustion safety test is to ensure that your furnace and water heater is properly drafting and not producing carbon monoxide. That is not a good thing. Exhaust ventilation test may be done, which is to ensure the system has capacity to get rid of excess moisture. Your house may be looked at with X-ray vision of sorts, or basically infrared. Infrared camera can scan to locate missing insulation behind your walls. So an energy audit is something that is very helpful and very good for you to assess your home and identify what improvements and in what priority you want to make those improvements. And this all begins with a green home, green body makeover. Some of the things that are readily available to you to do or consider in your home is home sealing, to seal your home. Some of the areas that you want to consider would be your electrical outlets. Electrical outlets along the exterior wall permit uncontrolled air in and out your house, which will seep out warm air and bring in cold air. The dryer vents in your laundry room is another area that can be insulated or that can be sealed, where the piping goes through the foundation. Recessed lights in the ceilings of respective rooms, be they kitchen or bathrooms or what have you, permit a lot of heat and airflow transfer. There's the kitchen fan vent, there's crawl space, there's where your outdoor faucet goes through the foundation wall. So these are areas to look at for air leakage. And of course, around the window and door seals. So yeah, basically, bottom line is that home sealing is a process recommended by the Environmental Protection Agency to help increase the comfort and energy efficiency of your home by improving what is referred to as the envelope, the outer walls, the ceiling, windows, and floors. And it's very inexpensive to do this. Something that either you can do yourself or that can be done for you through an organization called Whisper Energy, or if you sign up with the Milwaukee Energy Efficient Program or ME2 program, or if you sign up and qualify for the Home Energy Plus program. And again, a Green Neighborhood Mentor will help walk you through these processes and help you identify how to prioritize your time and your money in making your home green and more energy efficient. Now, a little bit about compact fluorescent lamps or light bulbs. Approximately 40% of the energy that we use today for generating electricity comes from burning coal. Energy consumed at home can create twice the amount of greenhouse gases than the average car. Lighting accounts for about 20% of the average household's electricity bill. Therefore, replacing inefficient incandescent bulbs with CFLs can save money, conserve energy, and reduce pollution. CFLs use 75% less energy than incandescent bulbs and save between about anywhere from $30 to $60 over the lifetime of the bulb. It can last, typically they last 10 times as long as incandescent bulbs and reduce emissions of pollutants such as mercury, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxide when compared with the use of incandescent bulbs. So this is something that we can jump all over. You betcha. Okay, all right. The compact fluorescent light bulbs is one item that can be used for what we call sustainable fundraising. So if you have a parent-teacher association, or if you're a church, synagogue, or a mosque, or if you're a River West Neighborhood Association, or any nonprofit, this is a good way to create a multiple win scenario where the organization is winning because they're raising money. The person making the purchase is raising money, is winning because they're saving money by purchasing CFLs, and they're having a lower carbon footprint by going from incandescent to CFL. Moreover, it's healthier for them as opposed to buying a frozen pizza or cookies or soda or some other highly processed fast food that's not healthy for their consumption in the first place. It's better to, if you're going to, I feel, fundraise, do so that does more than raise money for your organization. Fundraise in a sustainable way, in a way that's good for you, good for the person that's supporting your organization, and good for our environment. That way, the environment wins, your supporters wins, and the organization wins at the same time. Okay, I just want to refer back to quickly the value of our water. Our water system specifically is extremely important. We have some primary watersheds in Milwaukee. River West neighborhood is in the Milwaukee watershed, and you want to be mindful of the pollutants you send down the drain because it does affect our watershed, our water supply sources. Okay, and so one way you can reduce the water flow off your premises is by having a rain barrel. It's a good thing to do, and you can supplement that with a rain garden. By this, you're reducing the amount of storm water running off your premises going into our sewer system and reducing the amount of work it has to do to collect and process and redirect our water back to us, because all the water that we have on the planet is all the water we're going to get. So we need to be mindful of the impact that we have on our water source. Another excellent no or low cost tip for your home is to seal your ducts, your duct sealing for your HVAC in your home. Common duct problems and their solutions would include leaky, torn, or disconnected ducts, poorly sealed registers and grills, leaks at furnaces and filter slot, and kinks in flexible ductwork which restrict airflow. The solutions would be properly sealed ducts, registers and grills tightly sealed to ducts, sealed furnace and filter slot, well-insulated ducts in unfinished areas, straightened flexible ducts with improved airflow, and a low-cost layman's way to seal up the duct system. If when you turn on your HVAC, you hear some popping, that may be as a result of the panels bending because a rivet may have loosened or entirely popped out. Well, some aluminum tape can seal that for the short term. Eventually, you want to have that professionally remedied, but aluminum tape is an inexpensive, short-term manner of addressing some air leakage through your duct system in your home. Sealing your ducts can help with common comfort problems such as rooms that are too hot in the summer or too cold in the winter. It enhances indoor air quality. Fumes from household and garden chemicals, insulation particles, and dust can enter your duct system, aggravating asthma and allergy problems. Sealing ducts can help improve indoor air quality by reducing the risk of pollutants entering ducts and circulating through your home. And speaking of indoor air quality, we're going to touch on that in about a second or two. But before that, we're going to get into healthy child, healthy world. Bottom line, there's so many different advantages to having a green home and a green body. And the most important advantage is that you have a healthier household. Your family's healthier, but especially the children, because their bodies are smaller, yet they, per body weight, may be exposed to or probably exposed to more toxins in the home than you, being an adult with a larger body frame. It's dispersed over more mass. So what we want to do, there are 5 easy steps to a healthier and safer home. 1, you want to manage pests safely. Choose non-toxic lawn and garden care products for insecticides, pesticides, weed killers, fertilizers, and flea and tick control. Remember to encourage good sanitation habits such as washing hands after being outdoors and taking shoes off at the door. Number 2, use non-toxic products for cleaners and body care and home furnishing. And by using non-toxic products, you may find some non-toxic products which, like complex fluorescent light bulbs or CFLs, may be used as a fundraiser for your community service organization. Again, if raising money sustainably will help one family have one more bag of groceries at the food pantry, I think that's a good idea. If using non-toxic home and personal care products will help a particular teacher or a group of teachers buy more school care products for their classroom, then why not switch? If where you're purchasing your home care products isn't going to contribute to your community or to your parent-teacher association, then why spend the money there? Then they're just getting profit and the community is not getting anything. Spend your money where it loops back to your community. So, bottom line is, remember to read the labels and ask questions. Use products labeled non-toxic, chlorine-free, phosphate-free, biodegradable, natural fragrance, paraben-free, hypoallergenic, vegetable, bio, water-based, petroleum-free, organic, and low or zero VOC, that stands for volatile organic compounds. Recycled, reclaimed, and formaldehyde-free. So those are a long list of items or indicators you can look out for when you're purchasing your home or personal care products. Bottom line is that you want to clean your body in a real clean way as opposed to pseudo-clean where the surface dirt may be gone, but what's permeating through your skin may be more harmful over the long run. In fact, there's nothing really unclean about real dirt. Real dirt is not unhealthy. The problem is that you don't want to replace with toxins where you wiped away dirt or dust. Okay. Clean up indoor air by being mindful of the home care products and personal care products you introduce into your home. By extension, you are being more mindful of your indoor air quality and thus making your or helping your HVAC system, duct system in your home work more efficiently. You can clean your furnace filter, replace it maybe at least once every 3 months just to be on the safe side. You want a HEPA filter, ideally. And then again, be mindful of taking off your shoes when you come in the house, not using toxic cleaners in your home for your personal care, laundry, household care. And simply put, ventilate your home, especially the bedrooms and nursery, by simply opening the windows. Change the filters in your air conditioning units about, once every 3 months, and the bag in your vacuum cleaner just as frequently, if not more so. Sanitize and clean air with help from indoor plants and air purifiers with approved HEPA filters. Avoid synthetic carpets when possible. You don't need to spray air freshener. How can, you know, some things just boggle. Okay, you got a can of something whose ingredients you can't pronounce, and if you do pronounce them well, you don't know what they are. And you're going to spray this around in your house, and that's going to freshen your air. Why not just open the windows? It's basically what they're selling you is fragrant, is air fragrance or gas. They're selling you a gas. Air is a gas, okay? You're buying bottled gas under pressure that you spray around in your house with a fragrance, and you think that's freshening your air. That's about as bad as buying bottled water. One of these days, I'm just going to go off talking about the bottled stuff. Look, most of what we need, we already have. We've just been bamboozled, conditioned, and brainwashed by Madison Avenue to buy things that we really don't need. Marketing, it's amazing. Power of television. But lest I digress, point number 4 for a healthier and safer home. Eat healthy. Eat more organic and healthy foods. Organic foods are grown without potentially harmful, long-lasting synthetic chemicals. After extensive research, the EPA considers 60% of all herbicides, 90% of all fungicides, and 30% of all insecticides as contributors to potential health risks. Solution: eat organic fruits and vegetables when available. Make wise protein choices with meat, poultry, seafood, eggs, and milk products from animals raised on vegetarian feed without hormones or antibiotics. Avoid foods high in sugar, high in fat, or highly processed, i.e. frozen pieces for fundraisers, as well as fast foods. You know, I recommend joining a food co-op like the River West Food Co-op. And, contribute time to a food pantry. Volunteer time for a food pantry. Or do some fundraising for a food pantry. 5, the 5th step would be wise with plastics. Plastic provides a good amount of affordable convenience. Only recently have we discovered that the hidden cost may be our health. Plastics in certain applications have the potential to negatively affect health. Specifically, replace vinyl chew toys made of soft plastic, especially any labeled V as in victim or the number 3. Opt for toys and books made with natural wood, cloth, or metal. Avoid using plastic containers and cling wrap in the microwave. Instead, select reusable containers like glass or ceramic that is lead-free. Choose safer plastics such as polyethylene 1, 2, and 4, and polypropylene number 5. Avoid use of polycarbonate plastics for the baby, and look for products that state no phthalates or no BPA or bisphenol A. Those are simple steps to a healthier, safer home. And that information that I just shared with you is from the Healthy Child Organization, which is a terrific organization. I recommend you check them out. That's healthychild.org. They have a great book called The Healthy Child and Healthy World. Creating a cleaner, greener, safer home. Good book, good reading. Now, we're going to get back into detoxifying our homes. Well, first we have to become aware of what are some of the toxins in our homes. And leading into that, we're going to just share some general information with you. Hazardous chemicals in the home and the health connection. With respect to all-purpose cleaners, many popular household cleaners, I won't mention their names, but many popular household cleaner solutions contain a synthetic solvent and grease cutter called butyl-cellulose. This hazardous petroleum-based chemical can irritate your skin and eyes, and repeat exposure to it can cause permanent liver and kidney damage and impair the body's ability to replenish blood supply. And then in the bathroom, traditional scouring cleansers like Ajax and Comet contain crystalline silica, an eye, skin, and lung irritant classified as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen. and most homes use either Ajax or Comet. Chlorine, commonly used, is also extremely harmful to the respiratory system. Now, with respect to glass cleaners, window cleaning sprays contain ammonia, a suffocating gas, irritating to the eyes and respiratory tract. Many of the window cleaners contain butylcellulose, which is a neurotoxin that's easily absorbed through the skin. The skin is the largest organ of the body, in case you didn't know that. And well, it is. And most of much of what we internalize goes through our skin. I mean, just as readily as we may consume it orally. If it's not that way, then it's going to be topically through the skin. Dishwashing detergent. Two of the best-selling brands of automatic dishwashing detergents contain phosphates and chlorine, two extremely toxic chemicals. Phosphates released into the environment rob lakes and ponds of oxygen, leading to the suffocation of aquatic plants and animals. That's not good. Chlorine fumes are highly irritating to the eye. I had a random moment. Throat and respiratory tract. Inhaling them can cause headaches, burning eyes, and breathing difficulties. Those of you who know, familiar with honey badger, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see here. More information regarding exposure. Bottom line, what I'm getting to is this, neighbors, is that we as individuals and we as a society, we pay for convenience. And sometimes we pay for that in the short term, but most oftentimes collectively we pay for it the long terms. And with respect to typically the ready-to-use household cleaners that we buy off the shelf, number one, they're more expensive. How so? Well, they're more expensive with respect to their, let's say, dollar per usage or $1 per serving or whatever the unit value may be, versus buying a all-natural product that has the concentrate and you add the water to it to your strength, and therefore the cost per usage will be less. Moreover, much of the ready-to-use products are not environmentally sound with respect to their packaging, nor the contents of the product itself going down the drain or down the toilets and into our water systems. Just for your information, there are over 80,000 chemicals registered with the EPA, and less than 20% of them have been tested for toxicity. Today, there are more than 80,000 synthetic chemicals, according to Dr. Philip Langren, professor of community and preventive medicine at Mount Sinai School of Medicine. A person who spends 15 minutes cleaning scale off shower walls could inhale 3 times the acute 1-hour exposure limit for glycol ether containing products set by the California Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment. Several chlorinated chemicals can cause cancer and other serious health problems. Chlorinated chemicals can come from consumer products, dry clean clothes, and treated municipal water. Studies from the United States and Europe indicate that people living in industrialized nations spend more than 90% of their time indoors. Organic pollutants are 2 to 5 times higher inside homes than outside. This is a result of the products that we spend our money on to introduce into our homes. Bottom line is what the statistics are referring to is that if the chemicals that are used to manufacture the products that are purchased don't cause people to drop dead immediately, then it's all good to continue making the product until there's enough cases that can be correlated together to say there may be a cause to take this product off the market. We're essentially going through a large experiment that we don't know what the results are going to be, but we're the guinea pigs. We're conducting a vast toxicologic experiment in our society in which our children and our children's children are the experimental subjects. Little information on possible toxic potential is available for the 80,000 chemicals registered today with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Of the 3,000 chemicals produced or imported over 1 million pounds a year, only 43% have received even minimal toxicologic assessment, and a mere 23% have been tested to determine whether they have the potential to cause developmental damage. The National Academy of Sciences have recommended that infants and children be considered more vulnerable to chemicals than adults in the absences of evidence to the contrary. And some of the health issues affecting or that may be a result or exacerbated by common household cleaners and personal care products is asthma. Approximately 20 million Americans have asthma. The prevalence of asthma has increased 75% way back from 1980 to 1994. With respect to children, 9 million U.S. children under 18 have been diagnosed with asthma. Asthma is the most common serious chronic disease of childhood, and asthma rates in children under the age of 5 have increased by more than 160% between 1980 and 1994. An average 1 out of every 13 school-aged children has asthma. Amongst African Americans, asthma prevalence is 39% higher in African Americans than in Caucasians. African Americans have highest asthma rates of any racial ethnic group compared to Caucasians. The rate of emergency department visits is 380% higher. Hospitalization rate is 225% higher. Asthma death rate is 200% higher. In 2004, estimated 3.5 million African Americans currently had asthma. Much can be done to reduce this impact by reducing the toxins that we have in our homes, and that can be done by the products that we choose to purchase. Now, just needed to wet my palate for a moment. Some poisoning statistics based on the United States data. More than 90% of poison exposures occur in the home. Over 218,000 reported poison exposures in 2005 were from household cleaning products. Over 121,000 children under the age of 6 were poisoned by household cleaning products in 2005, and bleach is the #1 household cleaning chemical involved in poisoning. And there are alternatives to bleach. You can use a natural germicide. And if you want more information on those type of products, again, you can contact Eric at 414-935-2951. Again, this is Eric the Green Guy coming to you live from the Green Neighborhood, broadcasting from riverwestradio.com. And as always, this program is dedicated to the one I love, the mighty Aminata. Gotta get you on the show one of these days, kid. Let's see here. Moving right along. We want to be mindful of our decisions, because so oftentimes we can make a difference in our own community by the choices that we make, that all of us have to make. We have to make choices about our energy usage. You know, we have to make choices about what we spend our money on for our home and personal care. You know, we have to make choices about where we shop. And the choices that we make on an individual, household by household basis can positively impact our neighborhood with respect to the environment, with respect to redirecting some profits back to local community services, and with respect to securing and creating more job opportunities by where and with whom we spend our money. One of the ways that we can save money or get money back is through recycling. Recycling can be used in such a way where a dumpster can be placed on a certain site, and the community or neighborhood can bring their recyclables there, get to know one another, as well as raise money for a local school. Again, there's a lot of budgetary cuts going on a state and municipal level, and we do have a right to be concerned, and in some cases we do have a right to be upset. But in doing so, we need to take a multi-pronged action response in terms of doing what we can to increase the amount of money made available to educate our children. So if being greener in your home can have more cash flow for your school, then it behooves you to make that choice to redirect your spending somewhere where it's going to benefit your school and your community, as opposed to sending your dollars outside of your community to increase the net worth of some fat cat sitting on the beach drinking some tropical drink. What I think is another great idea is to have a recycling fundraiser where the recycling material can be converted to cash, is cash equivalent, and dispersed throughout the neighborhood or to one particular organization. And thereafter, a regular account established such that residents may, on a regular or irregular basis, bring their materials to the recycling office and say, I want these recyclables to be contributed to this church, or I want this material to be contributed to this school, or I want this this aluminum or glass or metal to go for this food pantry in this neighborhood. And that way, as there are being more and more fewer resources, cutbacks in the government and in our municipalities, we can redirect our spending as well as redirect our consumption and how we manage our refuse to raise money. We're going to be winding up here in a minute. But if you want to call in or ask some questions, again, there's still time at 414-935-2951. Make what matters to you matter for a nonprofit organization that you care about. Make what matters for you also matter for some community service organization that's trying to do good in our neighborhood. And you can do that by redirecting your spending towards those things that have a low environmental impact first, and that ideally can be used to fundraise for the betterment of us all. All right, have a great week. Do something green. Thank you. Eric signing out.